Okay, welcome back. Hope you've been studying hard. Today we're going to do more full exam practice questions. So you can take the exam with me as we go along. If you like the videos, please like and subscribe. It can help me put out more content, more videos like this. If you want our study materials, you can check out the website or you can go to one of these links. Okay, I'll put them in the comments below, in the descriptions below. All right, Wednesday, we've got more videos coming, Friday as well. And the next week, I'm going to start a whole new series doing full breakdowns of difficult concepts and misunderstood concepts. Okay, so look out for that. Other than that, keep working hard and let's get into it. Okay, 91. When Tammy throws a tantrum, mom takes away her Barbie dolls and the tantrums decrease. What is happening? All right, so this is a behavior question. This is a reinforcement punishment question. So immediately you want to look for key words with reinforcement, punishment, positive, negative. Okay, and in this question, we have everything we need, okay, with the question, right? All the keywords are there. So let's break it down. When Tammy throws a tantrum, mom takes away. So removing, taking away, okay, subtracting something. Is that positive or is that negative? That's negative. Remember, positive, you're adding something to the situation, you're adding to the environment. Negative, we're taking away, we're removing, okay? So in this instance, mom removes or takes away. So it has to be negative. So it's either going to be negative reinforcement or negative punishment. And now we need to look at what happens to the behavior. Okay. So if the behavior increases, what is that? It's reinforcement. If the behavior decreases, what is that? It's punishment. So what happens here? The tantrums decrease. So what do we have? Mom takes away, negative. Tantrums decrease, punishment. Therefore, negative punishment. If you break down questions like that, okay, they become very simple. Remember, the test gives you all the information you need in the question, okay? They're never going to give you a question without enough information, right? They might give you too much information that you don't need, okay, what we're about to look at, but they're never going to give you too little. Especially in these, you have all the information you need. You're just looking for, am I adding or removing? Is behavior increasing or decreasing? Okay, in this case, it's negative punishment. 92. It took me 2 hours to get home from work today due to traffic. I also stopped and picked up food on the way home and went to the bank. What type of measurement did I use to measure my car ride? Okay, so be careful here. Just like last question, they gave you just enough information to answer the question. Here, they're throwing in a lot of stuff, okay, that isn't really relevant to what they're asking. And what are they asking? They're asking what type of measurement did they use to measure their car ride? So what do we know about the car ride? It took a total of 2 hours. So when we're measuring a total time for a response, okay, or a behavior, what are we measuring? We're measuring duration, frequency, IRT, or rate. Well, frequency is just a count. Are we counting anything? Are we counting how many stops? No. Okay. Are we counting how many songs you listen to? No, we're not counting anything. We're looking at a total time. So frequency is out. Since frequency is out, what's also out? Rate. If you're not taking frequency, you can't find a rate. Okay. Those two go hand in hand, right? So both of those are out. IRT. What is IRT? The time between two responses. All right. So maybe time in between stops. Okay. But that's not what we're measuring. We're just measuring total time, work to home. And total time for a response is what? Duration. Okay. So make sure you're looking at the question and answering the question and not getting bogged down in the details. Okay. They just want to know how did you measure your total car ride? And you used duration. You found 2 hours. Okay. All right. 93. At dinner, you make your Bumble date choose their favorite food, seafood or steak. What type of preference assessment did you conduct? So if you watched my video I posted Friday, we went over all the preference assessments. So what do we know immediately with this one? How many stimuli are we looking at? We're looking at 2 stimuli, okay? So if you just knew that, you could answer this question immediately, right? Because 2 stimuli is what? It's forced choice. What is multiple stimulus? 3 or more, we have 2, so those are out. Natural assessment, right? Okay, natural environment assessment, right? You're just using the environment, okay? It's as many stimulus as there are available, okay? Here we're looking at 2 stimulus, dead giveaway, it's forced choice, okay? What if you didn't know that, right? Well, what are you doing here, okay? let's think about what forced choice means, right? I'm making you choose between things, okay? And forced choice, okay, I'm making you choose between two things, right? What are you doing here? Pick one, seafood or steak, okay? So it has to be forced choice. Always start with the preference assessment questions, identifying how many stimulus you have available, okay? If you have one, right, it's a single stimulus. If you have two, it's going to be forced choice, okay, or pair stimulus. If you have three or more, it's going to be multiple stimulus, right? Very easy way to break these down, okay? I posted a video last Friday about this, breaking down all our preference assessments. Check that out if you're still a little confused. Okay, 94, your session lasts 3 hours, but your BCBA asks you to take data on one specific behavior for only two 20-minute intervals per day. What type of measurement is this? So you're there all day, and for this behavior, we're only going to take data for a specific portion of session. What type of measurement is this? Okay, is it continuous, discontinuous, duration, or frequency? Okay, well, we don't know specifically. Okay, and so we don't know what we're measuring. Okay, we don't know how we're measuring it. We just know when. Okay, so duration and frequency are immediately out, right? You don't have any information telling you you're going to take duration data or you're going to take frequency data. Okay, you have no idea what type of data you're taking. You just know when you're taking it. Okay, so the question becomes: are you taking it the entire session, which is continuous, or part of the session, which is discontinuous? Well, the question says your session lasts 3 hours. You're only taking two 20-minute intervals per day, so about 40 minutes of data, which means you're taking data only part of the time. So therefore, it has to be discontinuous. Okay. Again, you have no idea what type of data we're taking, right? So these two are gone immediately. Continuous, remember, we're taking data throughout. All right. So duration, frequency are types of continuous data, right? We can take duration throughout, we can take frequency throughout. But in this situation, we don't know, right? All we know is when, and when is part of the session. When you're taking data on part of a session, part of a class, that's discontinuous measurement, right? You're starting and stopping data collection. Okay, it's nap time. I have 10 students in my class. Every 8 minutes, I look up from my desk to see who isn't sleeping. What type of measurement? So you're working away, you have a bunch of students in your class working away. Every 8 minutes, okay, you look up and you record, right? Who's sleeping, who isn't, okay? And if they're sleeping at 8 minutes, it's a response. If not, it isn't. So immediately, what kind of data collection is this? Well, we know it's interval, right? Time sampling data, okay? Because you've been studying, you should know this. So frequency's out. So what type of interval recording is at the end of the interval, right? Is it momentary? Is it whole? Or is it partial? Well, we know whole interval looks at the entire interval. We know partial looks at the entire interval. Only momentary time sampling do you check at the very end. Okay, so this is momentary time sampling. So some of you out there might be learning a little more, which is great, and say, well, isn't this a group check? Isn't there another name for that? Yes, okay. This is called play check, okay? When you have a group of students or clients or whoever, and you look up and check the group, okay, at the end of every interval, it's play check. Play check is a type of momentary time sampling, okay? And for the RBT exam, you need to know momentary time sampling. So the foundation here is every 8 minutes, right, on the dot, okay, at the end of every interval, I look up and check momentary time sampling. Okay, your daughter gets home from art class and you ask her if she learned anything. She shows you a beautiful painting of a house. What type of measurement are you using? So, hey, here's your beautiful painting, right? You know she painted, okay? And did you watch her paint it? No. Okay. Do you have a recording of the painting, right? No, you didn't observe the painting. Okay. When she takes it home and shows you the painting, you can measure that she painted this picture, right? And you can see this: has she improved? Is she learning, right? Et cetera, et cetera. So if you're going to measure the painting, but you didn't watch her paint it, what are you doing? Are you measuring duration? No, we're not measuring any sort of time. IRT, Again, we're not measuring the time in between anything, okay? Latency, same thing, right? We're not measuring the time in between anything. So even if you didn't know the answer here, okay, you should be able to eliminate these three just based on your knowledge of our terms and our definitions, okay? If you can't do that, you need to go brush up on your terms and your definitions, okay? That's why I always stress how important terms and definitions are, because it helps like questions like this. If you're so confused, but you should know enough if you know your terms to know, hey, we're not measuring any time here, right? So these can't be it, okay? We're not measuring total time or time in between. So even if I don't know the answer, I know C is the only one left. But, right, why is it permanent product, okay? You're measuring what the behavior creates, what the behavior produces. What did her behavior produce? A painting, okay? You didn't watch her paint it, right? Therefore, you're just measuring the product. So it's permanent product. During session, your client falls and bumps their head. A knot forms and the client needs to see a doctor. What do you do? So you're at session, you're playing on the trampoline or you're in the living room. They fall off the couch, hit their head, knot forms. This happens to everybody, okay? Kids are going to get hurt, right? You want to do your best to prevent that, but it's inevitable, right? Kids are going to just get rough and get hurt and things happen. So what do you do in that situation, right? You're at the client's house, bump forms, big knot, it looks bad. You're panicking. Okay, let's say you're new, right? Oh my God, I'm freaking out. What do I do? Do you resign from your position? Do you inform your BCBA and follow company protocols? You try to hide the knot, but nothing. It wasn't your fault. Well, A, resign from your position. No, you don't need to quit, right? It happens to everyone. Okay, so don't feel responsible for it. Okay, don't feel like you're a failure because your client hurt themselves. Okay, it might happen, right? It's just one of those things. Okay, so you don't need to resign. B, inform your BCBA and follow company protocols. Yes, as soon as it happens, okay, text to BCBA. Okay, let the parent know, of course. Okay, we'll get to that. Inform your BCBA, follow company protocols. You'll probably have an incident report. Okay, write it up, let everybody know, inform everybody, and then go from there. Okay. The biggest takeaway here is when things happen, when you're confused, when you're lost, when you don't know something, when you have questions, what do you do? Go to your BCBA, find out company protocols, and go from there. Okay. Reach out, get help, get advice. Okay. The more you share information, the better. Okay. So B in this situation is the best answer. Could it be more thorough? Yes. There's more things you could do. You want to tell the parents, right? You want to make sure they're okay. You want to get them ice, blah, 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 right? But RBT exam wants the best answer. In this situation, informing your BCBA is the best answer. Let's look at our other two. Tried to hide the knot from the parents. Never hide anything from parents, right? Okay. That leads to a very slippery slope. Okay. A bad road to go down. You want to be honest up front, okay? Get it out in the open and deal with the aftermath after, okay? 99% of parents are understanding. They understand their kid it's just something that happens, okay? So if you get that 1%, that's just bad luck, but the 99% are willing to work with you. They're friendly, they understand, okay? And you want to be upfront and honest. And in the end, it'll build your relationship because now they know they can trust you, okay? And further down the line, right, you build that relationship, which is important, okay, to the client's success. So don't hide it. And indeed, nothing. No, you want to do something, right? Just because it wasn't your fault, right? You're still responsible for the client, okay? So you're responsible for what happens there, okay? And the BCBA is responsible for you for what happens there, okay? So you want to act, right, and inform your BCBA, okay? I spent a lot of time on that question. Ethics questions give people trouble, okay? But they're really just common sense, right? You want to go to your BCBA, you want to follow protocol, right? You want to do what's right, okay? And use common sense during ethics questions. Okay, I'm teaching my client to count to 10. I start by teaching them to count to 3 and reinforcing. Then I reinforce only when they count to 7. Finally, I reinforce only when they get all the way to 10. What are you doing? Okay, so you're reinforcing successive approximations of a behavior. What is that? Okay, it's really just a definition question when you break it down, right? I reinforce at 3, then I reinforce at 7, then I reinforce at 10. Okay, so what are you doing? Are you chaining? No, you're not breaking this task down into steps. Okay, are you shaping? Yes, right? So the behavior is counting to 10, okay? And each step, okay, or each successive approximation of the behavior, all right, you're going to reinforce, okay? So they get to 3, you reinforce. Next time they count to 3, okay? You tell them keep going or you wait. When they get to 7, then you reinforce. And finally, when they get to 10, okay, you finish your reinforcement. Measurement, okay, we're not measuring anything here, right? And then NET, okay, we're not sure how this is being run. So the correct answer, the best answer here is shaping, reinforcing approximations of behavior, okay, until you get to the behavior you want. All right, NET is the same as what? Okay, I have this question come up a lot, right? Our two major teaching styles, okay, is NET and DTT. What is DTT? Discrete trial training, okay, discrete trial teaching, right? Sometimes called table time. You're at the table and you're working together, okay? Also considered contrived, right? It's a very contrived environment, DTT, right? Because you're controlling the antecedents, you're controlling the consequences, okay? Contrived reinforcements, you're just controlling the environment, right? It's a very contrived environment. So that being said, what is NET? What does it stand for? Well, NET stands for Natural Environment Training, okay? Which is the same as naturalistic teaching, okay? You're using the environment, you're using what comes up, okay, to teach skills, right? You're hoping to contact natural reinforcements, natural punishers, natural consequences, et cetera, okay? Using the environment. Finally, while your supervisor is out of town, she asks you to conduct a functional analysis on your client. What should you do? So your supervisor says, hey, go in and conduct a functional analysis by yourself. Okay, one, you might not even know how to do that. Okay, you probably don't, right? Two, conducting a functional analysis on the fly like that, okay, a functional analysis involves a lot of um, preparation and setup. Okay, you need a lot of things, okay, in place. Okay, so hopefully you would never be asked to do this, right? You just couldn't pull it off. But let's say you are. What should you do? Okay, remember the RBT, your role is implementation. Okay, and then you want to assist in parent training and functional analysis and things like that. But you're not doing parent training and analysis, okay, on your own. Let's say, well, so when they ask you to do it on your own, what should you do? Do the functional analysis. You're well trained. Let's say you're well trained. Let's say you've been in the field 4 years and you know what you're doing. Okay. Still, you don't have the qualifications to do a functional analysis on your own. Okay. You just don't. Right. So A is out. B, report your BCBA to the board. Well, that's a little extreme, right? Maybe they just made a mistake. Okay. Maybe they're, whatever. They were busy, they were on vacation, and they accidentally recommended you do that. And then, okay, point being, reporting your BCBA to the board immediately, okay, is way overkill, right? You should really try to settle it with them first, right? You want to mediate, you want to make that relationship, okay, strong, and reach out and be like, hey, I don't think I'm qualified or comfortable to do this. Okay, so B is a little over the top. C, quit your job. I don't think you need to quit your job. I mean, that's your choice, but just because you're asked to do this, again, you want to talk to the BCBA, okay, and figure out why they asked you to do this, right? So B and C are pretty extreme. D, decline to do the functional analysis. You are not suited to do an FA alone as an RBT. Yes, this is the most logical, the most reasonable take, right? Hey, sorry, I'm glad you trust me enough to do this, but I can't do it, right? I'm an RBT. I can't do this alone. Um, I'm going to have to wait till you get back. Simple as that, right? And then if they insist that you do it, okay, then we start talking about, okay, reporting to the board, okay, going to the company if they're not the boss, right? Then you can escalate it, right? But the first thing you want to do is just politely decline and just say, look, I'm not suited to, right? I'll wait till you get back. All right, so that wraps that up for today. I've got more videos coming Wednesday and Friday. Okay, next week, I've got a brand new series coming that I think you'll like. Remember, if you want the materials, the practice materials, study materials, check out our website, okay? I'll put the links below in the comments and the descriptions, okay? Like and subscribe, and keep studying hard.